Om Shri Sai Ram, Sai Baba Mahaparayana, Chapter 7. Wonderful incarnation, behavior of Sai Baba, his yogic practices, his all pervasiveness and mercy, leper devotees service, Master Kapade's plague case going to Pandarpur. Wonderful incarnation. Sai Baba knew all yogic practices. He was well versed in the six process including dauti, that is stomach cleaning by a moistened piece of linen cloth, 3 inches in breadth and 22.5 inches in length. Kanda Yoga, that is separating of his limbs and joining them again, and Samadhi, etc. If you thought that he was a Hindu, he looked like a Yavan. If you thought him to be a Yavan, he looked like a pious Hindu. No one definitely knew whether he was a Hindu or a Mohammedan. He celebrated the Hindu festival of Ramanavami with all due formalities and at the same time permitted the sandal procession of the Mohammedans. He encouraged the wrestling boats in this festival. When the Gokulashtami came, he got the Gopal Kala ceremony duly performed, and on the Eid festivals he allowed the Mohammedans to say their prayers namaz in his masjid. Once during a Muharram festival, some Mohammedans proposed to construct a tazia or tabut in the masjid, keep it there for some days, and afterwards take it in the procession through village. Sai Baba allowed the keeping of the tabut for 4 days, and on the 5th day got it removed from the masjid without the least compunction. If we say that he was a Mohammedan, his ears were pierced. If you think that he was a Hindu, he had advocated the practice of circumcision. Though according to Mr. Nana Sahib Chandorkar, who observed him closely, he was not himself circumcised. If you call him Hindu, he always lived in the masjid. If Mohammedan, he always had the Duni sacred fire there, and the following things which were contrary to the Mohammedans' religion, that is grinding of the handmill, blowing of the conch and bells, oblation to the fire, bhajan, giving of food and worship of Baba's feet by means of arghya, that is water, were allowed there. If you think that he was a Mohammedan, the best of Brahmins and Agnihotris, leaving aside their orthodox ways, fell prostrate at his feet. Those who went to make enquiries about his caste were dumbfounded and were captured by his darshan. So, no one could definitely decide whether Baba was a Hindu or a Mohammedan. This is no wonder, for he who completely surrenders himself to the Lord by getting rid of his egoism and body consciousness thus becomes one with him and has nothing to do with any questions of caste or nationality. Baba saw no difference between any two castes and not even between the beings. He took meat and fish with fakir but did not grumble when dogs touched the dishes with their mouths. Such a unique and wonderful incarnation was Sai Baba. On accounts of the merits in my past birth, I had the good fortune to sit at his feet and enjoy his blessed company. The joy and delight I derived therefrom was incomparable. In fact, Sai Baba was pure Anand and consciousness. I cannot sufficiently describe him, his greatness and uniqueness. He who took delight at his feet and established in his own way. Many sannyasis, sadhakas, and all sorts of men aspiring for salvation came to Sai Baba. He always walked, talked and laughed with them and always uttered Allah Malik, God is the sole owner. He never liked discussion or disputation. He was always calm and controlled, though irritable at times, always preached Vedanta, and nobody knew till the last who was Baba. Princes and poor people were treated alike by him. He knew the inmost secrets of all, and when he gave expressions to them, all were surprised. He was the repository of knowledge, still he feigned ignorance. He also disliked honor. Such were the characteristics of Sai Baba. Though he had a human body, his deeds testified to his godhood. All the people considered him as God in Shiradi. Behavior of Sai Baba. Ignorant as I am, I cannot describe Baba's miracles. He almost got all the temples in Shiradi repaired. Through Tatya Patil, the temples of Shani, Ganapati, Shankar Parvati, village deity and Maruti were put in order. His charity was also remarkable. The money he used to collect as Dakshina was freely distributed rupees 20 to some, rupees 15 or 50 to others every day. The recipients thought that this was pure charity money and Baba wished that it should be usefully employed. People benefited immensely by having Baba's darshan. Some people became hale and hearty, wicked people were turned into good ones, leprosy was cured in some cases, many got their desires fulfilled without any medicine being put in the eyes, some blind men got back their sight and some lame ones got their limbs. Nobody could see the end of his extraordinary greatness. His fame spread far and wide, and the pilgrims from all sides flocked to Shiradi. Baba had his asan near the Duni and always rested there. He sat there in meditation, sometimes without a bath. He used to tie a small white turban on his head and wear a clean dhota round his waist and a shirt on his body. This was his attire in the beginning. He first practiced medicine in the village. He examined patients and gave medicines. He was also always successful and he became a famous Hakim as a Hakim doctor. A curious case may be narrated here. One devotee had his eyes quite red and swollen. No doctor was available in Shiradi. The other devotees took him to Baba. In such cases, other doctors would use ointments, anjans, cow's milk, and camphorated drugs, etc. Baba's remedy was quite unique. He pounded some biba, making some like a nuts, made 2 balls of them and thrust them on in each eye of the patient and wrapped a cloth bandage round them. Next day the bandage was removed and water was poured over them. The inflammation subsided and the pupils became white and clear. Though the eyes were very delicate, the biba caused no hurt but removed the disease of the eyes. Many such cases were cured and this is only one instance in this regard. Baba's yogic practices. Baba knew all the processes and practices of yoga. 2 of them will be described here. Dauti Kriya, that is cleansing process. Every third day, Baba went to the well near banyan tree at a considerable distance from the masjid, washed his mouth and had a bath. On one occasion, he was seen throwing up his intestines, clean them inside outside and place them on a jab tree for drying. There are people in Shiradi who have actually seen this and who have testified to this fact. Ordinary dauti is done by a moistened piece of cloth, linen, 3 inches broad, 22.5 feet long. This piece is gulped down the throat and allowed to remain in the stomach for about half an hour for being reacted there and then taken out. But Baba's dauti was quite unique and extraordinary. Kanda Yoga. In this practice, Baba extracted the limbs from his body, left them separately at different places in the masjid. Once a gentleman went to the masjid and saw the limbs of Baba lying in the separate places. He was terrified. He first thought of running to the village officers and informing them of Baba being hacked into pieces and murdered. He thought that perhaps he would be held responsible as he was the first informant and knew something of the affair. So he kept silent, but next day when he went to the masjid, he was very much surprised to see Baba hale and hearty as before. He thought that what he had seen the previous day was only a dream. Baba practiced yoga since his infancy and nobody knew or guessed the proficiency he had attained in it. He charged no fees for his cures, became renowned and famous by virtue of his merits, gave health to many a poor and suffering person. This famous doctor of doctors cared not for his interest but always worked for the good and welfare of others, himself suffering unbearable and terrible pain many a time in the process. One such instance I will relate now, which will show the all-pervasiveness and the most merciful character of Sai Baba. Baba's all-pervasiveness and mercy. In the year 1910, Baba was sitting near the Duni on Diwali and was warming himself. He was putting firewood into the Duni and which was burning brightly. A little later, instead of pushing logs of wood, Baba pushed his arm into the Duni. His arm was scorched and burnt. This was noticed by the errand boy Madhav and also by Madhav Rao Deshpande Shyama. They at once ran to Baba and Madhav Rao clasped Baba by his wrist from behind and dragged him forcibly backwards and asked, Deva, why you have done this? Then Baba came to his senses and replied, the wife of a blacksmith at some distant place was working the bellows of a furnace. Her husband called her. Forgetting that her child was on her lap, she got up hastily and the child slipped into the furnace. I immediately thrust my hand into the furnace and saved the child. I do not mind my arm being burnt, but I am glad that the life of the little child is saved. The leper devotee service. On hearing the news of Baba's hand being burned from Shyama Madhavrao Deshpande, Mr. Nana Sahib Chandorkar, accompanied by the famous doctor Paramanand of Mumbai, with his medical outfit consisting of ointments, lint and bandages, etc., rushed to Shiradi and requested Baba to allow Dr. Paramanand to examine the arm and dress the wound caused by the burn. This was refused. Since that day, the burnt arm was dressed by Bagoji Shinde, a leper devotee. His treatment consisted in massaging the burnt part with ghee and then placing a leaf over it and bandaging it tightly. Mr. Nana Sahib Chandorkar solicited Baba many a time to unfasten the bandages and get the wound examined, dressed and treated by Dr. Paramanand with the object that it may heal fast. Dr. Paramanand himself made similar requests, but Baba postponed it by saying that Allah was his doctor and did not allow his arm to be examined. Dr. Paramanand's medicines were not exposed to the air of Shiradi and they remained intact, but he had the good fortune of getting a darshan of Baba. Bagoji was allowed to treat the hand daily. After some days, the arm healed and all were happy. Still, we do not know whether any trace of pain was left or not. Every morning, Bagoji went through this program of untying the bandages, massaging the arm with ghee, and tightly bandaging it again. This went on till Sai Baba's Samadhi. Sai Baba, a perfect Siddha, as he did not really want this treatment, but out of love for his devotees, he allowed the Upasana, that is, service of Bagoji, to go on uninterrupted all along. When Baba started for Lendi, Bagoji held an umbrella over him and accompanied him. Every morning when Baba sat near the post close to the Duni, Bagoji was present and started his service. Bagoji was a sinner in his past birth. He was suffering from leprosy, his fingers had shrunk and his body was full of pus and smelling bad. Though outwardly he seemed so unfortunate, he was really very lucky and happy for he was the premier servant of Baba and got the benefit of his company. Master Kapparde's plague case. I shall now relate another instance of Baba's wonderful Leela. Mrs. Kapparde, the wife of Mr. Dada Sahib Kapparde of Amaravati, was staying at Shiradi with her younger son for some days. One day, the son got high fever, with which he further developed into bubonic plague. The mother was frightened and felt most uneasy. She thought of leaving the place of Amaravati and went near Baba in the evening. When he was coming near the Vada in his evening rounds for asking his permission, she informed him in a trembling tone that her dear young son was down with plague. Baba spoke kindly and softly to her, saying that the sky is beset with clouds, but they will disperse and pass off, and everything will be smooth and clear. So saying, he lifted up his kafni to the waist and showed to all present there 4 fully developed buboes as big as eggs and added, "See how I have to suffer for my devotees. Their difficulties are mine." Seeing this unique and extraordinary deed or leela, the people were convinced as to how the saints suffer pains for their devotees. The heart of the saint is softer than wax. It is soft in and out as butter. They love their devotees without any idea or gain and regard them as their true relatives. Going to Pandharpur. I shall now close this chapter after relating a story illustrating how Sai Baba loved his devotees and anticipated their wishes and movements. Mr. Nana Sahib Chandorkar, who was a great devotee of Baba, was a mamlatar at Nandurbar in Kandesh. He got an order of transfer to Pandharpur. His devotion to Sai Baba bore fruit as he got an order to go and stay at Pandharpur, which is regarded as the Buvai Kundam, heaven on earth. Nana Sahib had to take immediate charge, so he left for the place without even writing or informing anybody at Shiradi. He wanted to give a surprise visit at Shiradi, his Pandharpur, and see and salute his Vithoba Baba and then proceed further. Nobody knew of Nana's departure for Shirdi, but Sai Baba knew all about this, as his eyes were everywhere, omniscient. As soon as Nana Sahib approached Nimangarh, few miles from Shirdi, there was a stir in the masjid at Shirdi. Baba was sitting and talking with Mahalsapati, Appa Shinde and Kashiram. When he at once said, "Let us all four do some bhajan. The doors of Pandari are open. Let us sing merrily." Then they began to sing in chorus, the bhava of the song being, "I have to go to Pandarpur and I have to stay on there, for it is the house of my Lord." Baba sang and devotees followed him. After a short while, Nana Sahib came there with his family, prostrated himself before Baba and requested him to accompany them to Pandarpur and stay with them there. The solicitation was not necessary, as the devotees told Nana Sahib that Baba was already in the mood of going to Pandarpur and staying there. Hearing this, Nana Sahib was moved and fell at Baba's feet, and then after getting Baba's permission, Udi, that is the sacred ash, and blessings, Nana Sahib left for Pandarpur. There is no end to Baba's stories, but let me now stop there. Here, reserving for the next chapters other topics such as importance of human life, Baba's living on alms, Baijabai's service and other stories. Bo to Sri Sai, peace be to all. Om Sri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Sai Ram.